Hi everyone who's just joining us for today's digital demo. Today we'll be going over Novelist and NextReads newsletters, which are two ways to get great library book recommendations from home. I will be starting the demo in just a minute. So if you want to introduce yourself in the chat, let me know what kind of book recommendations you're looking for. Be it children's books, books for adults, specific genres, books in a certain language or for certain age groups. Let me know and we'll use those in our demo today. Okay, so it's 3 o'clock. Let's get started. My name is Olivia Horvath. I work for PGCMLS as a digital services specialist. So that means that I help with our online resources that are available 24/7. And now more than ever, it is important and exciting to me to let you guys know what we offer and give you a little more info on how to access it and feel comfortable with it. So we've been doing these digital demos every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. And they've been awesome, really fun, and it's been exciting to see some of you guys. I know I've seen you here before. Today we're going to be talking about Novelist and NextReads newsletters, which are two ways to get great library book recommendations from home. So what I asked before 3, I'm going to ask again now, is if you want to let me know the kinds of books you're looking for or what you'd want to search when you're looking for book recommendations, be it a specific age group, a specific language, genre, subject, or anything else like that, let me know and I will use that in our demo today. So I will start with giving you a little tour of the NextReads newsletters, which are an email service that we offer through PGCMLS, which gives you specific genre and age recommendations delivered to your inbox every month, or depending on the newsletter itself, it might be more or less frequently. So hopefully you guys are familiar with our homepage here, pgcmls.info. If you go to the online library tab and click on that, you can navigate to the email news and notices button. This page provides links to a number of different email newsletters that we offer. It gives you information about getting notices to your library account if you don't have your email address on your card, which I totally recommend. Library News newsletter, which is great to subscribe to at this time when we're waiting to hear for what the features of the libraries are going to be when we we'll be offering different kinds of services in the future, what we're doing from home and how we are supporting our communities. So I recommend subscribing to that. And then the NextReads newsletter, which is on the bottom here, is the service that allows you to discover new books in your favorite genres and for all ages. So if you click Learn More, you can get a little taste of what those are like. Above this image here, you can click to subscribe to a NextReads newsletter. This is a super simple little form here. You can choose which newsletters to subscribe to. Let's say I am a family with kids, and I'm also interested in nonfiction titles for adults, for me and whatever adults are living in the house. So I might want to subscribe to kids' books, maybe picture books, PGCMLS e-news for information for the whole family, New York Times fiction bestsellers, nonfiction bestsellers, let's do that. and home garden and DIY, because I don't know about you, but I'm spending a lot of time getting to house projects I haven't paid attention to for years, now that I'm stuck at home all day. You're also able to get updates on specific topics and area-specific news. So if I live in Hyattsville, I can click on the library news for that area. And if I have kids, I might also be interested in special events for kids, for adults. And let's get the current news and events newsletter too. So I get all that library info and I don't miss a thing. So here you can enter your name and your email address. Let us know you're not a robot. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you are not. And you can read this information here, just information about our privacy policy and the service that we use. But this is safe and free, and you can hit subscribe. And then you will have an email sent to your email address. And once you click that, you will complete the process. If you don't see that email right away, I recommend checking in your junk filter, because sometimes these automated emails get caught up. But once that's done, you'll get these emails in your inbox every time a new newsletter comes out. So I'm going to go back so we can take a look at what the newsletters will look like. Let's see. So we can take a peek into the newsletter archives and see some book recommendations and newsletters from the past. Does anyone here have an interest in a specific newsletter that we could take a look at? Or I'll just choose one. Shout it out in the chat if you have one you'd like me to take a look at. Well, I'm going to choose, since you guys are shy, teen books. And we'll look at the May back issue. Take a little look at these recommendations. Nonfiction adult, awesome. We'll take a look at that as well, Dan. So the way that these newsletters are created are our librarians who do the purchasing for the titles in our branches take a look at what's coming out, and they compare those to lists made by other librarians and create a robust list of new titles that are exciting under each genre and age group. So the top titles are the new titles. And after that, there's always a little section where they sort of expand upon a theme. So this one is imagining your story, write it out. All of these titles, they may not be the newest titles, but they're all in our library. And these are teen titles that are about writing poems told in the style of a poem. This one is a collection of advice by young adult authors. So sort of on the theme of writing. For each title, you see the cover, get a little bit of information about what the book is like. And if you click on the title, you're brought to our catalog, which will allow you to get a hold of that book. So right now, during our library closure, all of these NextReads newsletters are only recommending ebooks and e-audiobooks. So whatever you see on these lists, you will be able to get at home. So if you haven't placed a hold on an ebook or checked out an ebook through our catalog, you're able to check out, this symbol means ebook. Zoom in a little bit so you can have a better look. So this little e-reader symbol means ebook, and that O means overdrive, which represents the books that we have available through there. And this one means e-audiobook. If you hover over, you can see that info as well. So you can check these out through the catalog, or you can click this web link to go to the Overdrive website and borrow that book from there or add it to your wish list. I like checking out through the Overdrive page for ebooks because it's a little more accurate about how many copies are available or if there's a waiting list. And if I'm logged in already on my computer or device, I can just click borrow and get a copy of that ebook right away. Even within a minute, I can start reading it online. All right, so we'll go back here. Let's see. We'll take a look at another one of the NextReads newsletters. Looks like Dan wants to take a look at historical fiction. So historical fiction is pretty popular, and this one does update every month. So we have a big backlog if you want to see some recommended reads from the past. Not all of these backlogs are ebooks though, but the newest one will be. So when you click on that, you can see the historical fiction recommendations for April 2020. Let's take a look at one of these titles. This one's nice too because it gives a little more info about each title. It also kind of gives read aloud. So this says, for fans of The Mercies by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. It gives a little bit of a bio of where the book takes place, which is great for historical fiction buffs. A short summary of what the book is about and who might enjoy the book. So for fans of the Netflix series Goddess, so even talking about things, not just books, but movies as well. So this is a great way if you've been interested in a new genre or you want to get your feet wet. This is a great way to get some leads. So Dan said he read Deacon King Kong. Did you like it? Or you just looked at it? Which is cool. If I click on Deacon King Kong, I can get my hands on one of those right away. You'll notice that the physical books at this time do not have a placeholder or a checkout button next to them. So you can see them in the catalog, but you can't put a hold on those at this time. So you can add them to your list if you want to make a collection of books in the future that you'd like to take a look at, but I totally recommend checking out our ebook offerings at this time. You can click place hold, because right now there is a hold. This is a popular ebook. It looks like Dan is in the queue, and I will be joining the queue as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it for NextReads. It's super easy to sign up. I really recommend it. I think it is a fun way to not just see what new books are out there that are recommended for everyone, but to see a little bit of what is recommended for our county by our librarians. And all those links are going straight to the book and you get your hands on them as soon as possible, which is awesome. Does anyone else have questions about NextReads before we move on to Novelist? Hi, Bashir. I see on Facebook you asked, are children's historical fiction books included? Unless otherwise noted, these lists will be for adults. The ones that will not be for adults are kids, picture books, teens, and tweens. But the nice thing about these is, like I said before, they include the recent releases, but then they also have sections at the end that are subject-oriented. So this one is not historical fiction, but these are all different animal related books. So you can take a look through the back catalog and see if there's a historical fiction recommendation, or you can use our next resource, Novelist, to look for specifically children's historical fiction. So that's a good jumping off point. I'm going to go back to our main page. Has anyone here used Novelist before? It's not a problem if you haven't. So Novelist is an online resource that provides book recommendations based on appeal factors, curated lists, and readalikes for titles you already enjoy. In order to access them, you'll click on Online Library, go to Online Resources, and you can either search our resources alphabetically or by category. Let's see, let's do alphabetically. And we'll go to Novelist. So Novelist is available both for adult fiction and children's fiction, picture books, novels, and series. So there's Novelist Plus, which is for adults, and K-8 Plus, which is for kids. So at this time, let's take a look at Novelist Plus, and then we'll try Bashir's search through Novelist K-8 after we take a look at this one. So I can just click on that link, enter my library card number, and now we can see the Novelist landing page. Dan says he's used Novelist before. That's awesome. It's a good time to jump back in because they have restructured some things, and I find it easier to search than ever before. So Novelist is an awesome recommended reads tool. It does also include nonfiction at this point, but it's best for fiction. Dan asks, is it better or comparable to Goodreads? It is similar to Goodreads. It is not as much of a social media tool as Goodreads. The thing that I like better about Novelist compared to Goodreads is that it's not influenced by people selling the book, because Goodreads is owned by Amazon. So it is a lot less unbiased than something like Novelist, which is a tool created by and for librarians. So sometimes things will have a higher rating on Goodreads because it's been marketed and sold really hard. A lot of Goodreads reviews are also coming from people who have gotten a review copy, and this is based on reviews from non-biased librarians who are just celebrating their love of reading and also are informed about what is popular and powerful about certain titles. So let's take a look. On the top here, you have some navigation tools. Browse by genre, appeal, themes, award winners, also an audiobook section. Especially for, which gives you a reader's advisory tool and information and books about working with youth. Quick links to a bunch of different tools, author readalikes, books to movies, book club resources, genre outlines, grab-and-go book lists, and also some articles. And how do I find readalikes? Readalike means a title that is similar to another title, or an author who might write similar to another author. Readalikes vary on time period, genre, themes, vibe. So Novelist is pretty exciting. Instead of like with Goodreads, a lot of things are sort of just based on lists that other people have made. But with Novelist, they're pulling keywords like, here you can see, I'm in the mood for books that are ... upbeat and likable. So these are keywords that have been assigned to the book that you can use to search that may not be in the language of the book itself, may not be in the bio of the book, but have been evaluated. So I like this right now, upbeat and likable, because I'm enjoying some lighter reads at this time. And I'm looking for adult titles. So I'm going to browse through this and click on any of these titles to take a look. I can add it to my folder if I create an account so that I can view it in the future. I can also click View Copies Available if I want to put a hold on it. So this is all books, again, that we offer. So I click this title, How to Walk Away by Catherine Center. The genre is women, lives, and relationships. The themes are living with a disability and bouncing back. The character appeal terms are ability, diverse ability, likable characters, an upbeat tone, and engaging writing style. So that sounds pretty exciting to me. And they actually do offer an opportunity to read reviews on Goodreads under the title here if you're looking for more reviews from all different kinds of people and not just publishers and librarians. You can do so. So I can click this button to view the copies available. And before I even go into the catalog, I can see that there's an ebook, audiobook, and print copies. So that's great because right now I'm going to want to get my hands on an ebook. I can read reviews here, see more about the book by clicking that button, view it in lists and articles. And I can also use, let's see, the list that the list that is under includes upbeat and likable and relationship fiction for adults. And I can use these appeal terms that were mentioned up top. So the specific elements of a story that Novelist has created to help identify what is enjoyable about a title, can use those to search for other titles. So let's see, I might want to try that. So I'll click Family Secrets, upbeat tone, and likable characters. So I want something with a little bit of mystery and still something that'll feel light and make me feel happy. So let's search that. And I got a number of titles that fall under those results. I'm going to limit it to, let's try teen titles. Sometimes even adults like to read YA. Can be very pleasant, especially in stressful times. So the title I was recommended was one of the Princess Diaries titles, Princess Mia by Meg Cabot, teen fiction. And I can take a look at some of these appeal terms too and work off of these if I'm looking for other titles. So diary novels, teen chick lit, character-driven storyline, tone, funny, romantic, writing style, conversational. And this is nice if you're looking for books for younger people, min-max grade levels. So this gives you, instead of just saying this is good for grade 8, this is giving you an idea of sort of the range of who this book is marketed for and written for, and allows you to make your own call about whether or not it is suitable for the reader you're searching for. So I'm going to go back to the home page, and we can, so there's a ton of really awesome search functions in Novelist. And I'll take a look at a couple of the other ones and scroll down and see some featured titles, keep up with specific genres, browse lists of genres, different age groups. And I'm going to take you to the quick links because I think the Readalikes function is one of the most exciting things for Novelist. As a library worker, I've used it a lot when people come in and they say, do you have a book that is like, let's see. Now, of course, I can't think of one. The Bluest Eye. Or do you, my favorite writer is Sherman Alexie. Can you help me find something that sounds like him or feels like him? And that can be a hard thing to define, especially if you haven't read every book by the author, but this is an awesome place to start. So let's click on one of these titles and find similar authors. These are created by librarians and teachers to help people find similar titles. So if we check out the Toni Morrison one, this was created in August 2019, so we know that newer books will most likely not be on this list, newer than that, but it's a pretty extensive list. The summary for this list is Toni Morrison's evocative novels explore our painful history of racial and sexual oppression and our personal and societal search for self, reaching beyond the natural world into the realm of myth and spirit. So she handles topics that can be heavy, but she brings a spiritual and a humanistic approach. And I would love to see more writers who have that approach. So there is a little bit of information about why readers might like this author. So I won't read this all, but it's something you can check out. This goes into some of the details of her work that I might not have isolated when thinking or reading about her work, but the combination of having a natural approach and a supernatural or mythic approach might link her work to writers who are writing in different time periods and about different kinds of people. So some of the things they recommend is magical realism writers like Isabel Allende, especially because she has a poetic approach. And you can go down to the Readalikes section and read little bios of different authors and see the recommendations that are given. So not only are some of these authors, like Gloria Naylor, draws on traditions in her strong resident novels about the struggles of Black men and women in search of identity and community, then there are specific titles mentioned, but this also links Morrison with writers that she worked with. Morrison edited Toni Cade Bambara during her time at Random House, and talks a little bit about the similarities their characters have together. So that's what a read aloud might look like. I'm going to go back so we can take a little more looks. You can also search Readalikes. Go to the home page. So I'm going to look for, let's see, looks like Dan shouted out Tommy Orange. So I'm going to search Tommy Orange author. And this brings up his title, There by 2018. Let's see if they have any Readalikes listed. Some of the newer books might not have them, but we can still use the appeal terms tool to find similar books. I'm going to click more about this book. All right, I'm not seeing any Readalikes listed for this title specifically, but this lists area has a lot of exciting jumping off points, including the many award winner list that it says ended up on, a book discussion guide, which is really awesome. I'm going to click on it. And this is a great place not only for you to get a little more information about the book and reflect on it after reading, but this is a great place to build, say, a book club or find ways to share this book with other people. And if you are teaching kids and supporting them in their own reading from home, this is very much recommended. This even has further reading at the bottom, so you can check out any of these titles as well. So we only have a few more minutes, but I would love to answer any questions you guys have. I would love to also take a look at Novelist K2 and see if we can find Bashir some children's historical fiction, which he's looking for. So Novelist K2 looks very similar. Something that I really like is, let's see if I can find it, the novelist recommendations list here, especially for working with youth. So these links include featured content for teens, older kids, and younger kids. And for people who work with kids, tell me more about programming, diverse books, and right now they have Canadian youth content. Might not be as relevant to us, but I'd love to see more about diverse books. And this will link to a number of the different kinds of readers' recommendation organizational tools that Novelist offers. So they have a featured article, which we can take a look at, and readers' advisory lists, which include lists of titles that are similar. So if I'm looking for own voices books and trying to encourage myself or young people to read diverse books and find books that reflect them, I can check out any of these lists. This one's cool. It's Diversity in Comics for Kids and Teens. And again, any of these titles you can click on. These titles are not, like I said, NextReads is all ebooks right now. Not all these titles are available as ebooks, but you can check that out before you go to the catalog. Just clicking on one Secret Coders here. Let's check our catalog. We do have ebooks of that, so I recommend taking a look for titles this way, or searching them here and then taking them back to Overdrive or our catalog to search more in depth. So before we go, I'm going to give Bashir what I promised him. And we will do an advanced search, and we're going to find some kids' historical fiction. So I can't even get into all these tools right now, but there's a lot of really awesome ways to search for different kinds of books, for author-specific cultural identities, the kind of reader level you're looking for, even information about authors, gender identities, publishing dates, lots of different tools to find the kind of work you want from the kind of people that you want to see making that work. So we're going to do genre, historical fiction. See if I can spell it right. Limiting to ages 0 to 8. I'll add 9 to 12 too. And I'm going to select fiction because I don't want any nonfiction in this search. Let's see what we come up with. Wow, we have 3,000 historical fiction titles for kids between the ages of 0 to 12. Maybe let's limit it to 0 to 8. I would like books published within the past 20 years. And I would like to see a culturally diverse character. Did that work? Maybe that'll help me find some things that differ from what people expect historical fiction to be. We can find some different perspectives. Awesome. So with that search, for ages 0 to 8, published within the last 20 years, diverse characters, I'm able to actually find a number of titles. They have 24 titles recommended here. And some of these are really awesome. The Book Itch, Freedom, Truth, and Harlem's Greatest Bookstore. Brush of the Gods, about the Tang Dynasty's painter. Papa's Mark. Let's see if we can find any of these as ebooks. Not that one. Well, anyway, I recommend you guys trying out these tools. They're really awesome. I will link both Novelist and NextReads for you in the chat. So check those out. If you have any other questions, you're welcome to send me a message on here before we end the chat. You can also send us a message at PGCMLS on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at any time. And you can also find us. I'm going to go back to this online resources page. If you need help, you can click these help videos. We have a really awesome one for using Novelist, which I recommend. Also about creating an account on there, which I didn't even get into if you want to track your reading. And there's also a contact us form for if you have any problems with the online library offerings and you need some help. So thank you so much for joining us today. We will be continuing to offer these digital demos at Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. It's always awesome to see you guys, hear your questions, and if there's anything else you'd like us to cover, let us know. And thank you. We'll see you next week. Just kidding. We'll see you Thursday. Thanks again.